Good evening and welcome to the Business Day. I'm Andrew Laidley. The Bank of Jamaica intervened in the foreign exchange market today for the fifth time in 2 months. The central bank offered $20 million to authorized dealers and cambios. Now that brings its total injection over the past 2 months to $95 million. Now, as we've seen in previous offerings, the central bank restricted the sale price at the maximum spread of 20 cents above the buy price and restricted resale to end users. And currency trading ended today with the US dollar selling for $147.80. The Canadian sold for $113.90. The pound closed at $197.85, while the euro is going for $179.30. Medical ganja company Kaya Group has announced plans to open 2 new locations in Jamaica next year. Group chairman and CEO Balram Vaswani says he expects to reap significant rewards from the expansion as global restrictions on the industry are relaxed. The global COVID-19 pandemic made growth in the medical ganja industry difficult. That's the word from Kaya Group chairman and CEO Balram Vaswani. But come next year, the group has plans to intensify its expansion plans.
We plan on opening our next flagship location in Montego Bay in Q1 of 2021, and depending on time and stuff like that, and if the borders open up, we could see it opening in the end of this year, depending on the time frame, but definitely moving towards Montego Bay and Portmore next year. And we have our second location in Uruguay opening in January of next year. So this year, first one December 19th, next year end of January in Uruguay.
Mr. Vaswani's optimism is tied to hopes that the United States will relax banking restrictions on the medical ganja industry next year. He says if all go as planned, the medical ganja industry will grow exponentially.
I think you're going to see banking, like federally, approved next year, and you're going to see a much bigger opportunity for companies that are like us that are positioned, doing the necessary work to have audited statements for 3 years. You've worked at JPS, you know what that means. Qualifying for any transaction for a merger and acquisition or a public transaction, we're ready on both sides. So, I'm going to watch how the next few weeks, play out. But I think that we're generally going to look to see what a dual listing looks like between Canada and Jamaica. And if not, what is that partnership looking like in the US now? That it'll be a federal thing, and how do we partner to grow the band the quickest to get out there?
In the meantime, the company is looking to partner with well-established medical ganja players in the region to access markets where restrictions are still too high.
Why would I try and go public by myself if they're operating in 13 countries already and I could get my brand into 13 countries? So that the idea was, why not look into partner with one of the bigger LPs? So we had shifted our goal of going public and said, let's look what the LP model looks like and kind of look at, of the growth strategy so we could grow quicker rather than sitting there trying to raise money, going on the public, and going public at the end of the day, as any other public company, you're bound as a treadmill to the next quarter.
The JSE index gained 2,587 points today, and the junior market index is up less than a point. Among the winners were Sterling Investments US dollar shares, G West Corporation, Palace Amusement, T-Tech, and Cygnus Credit Investments US dollar shares. Now on the losing side were CAC 2000, Kingston Properties, AMG Packaging and Paper, Lumber Depot, and Paramount Trading. And that's the Business Day. I'm Andrew Laidley. Good evening.